Hello friends, I Professor Bhavik Kumar M. Kataria welcomes you into the video sessions of operating system, and today we will start unit number 1, that is introduction. In this unit we will discuss various topics like computer system overview and architecture, goals of operating system and structure of operating system. Then after basic functions of OS as well as instruction of OS. In then after next session, hardware architecture of operating system and various types of system calls. And into the last session, we will discuss various types of operating system. So let's start today our first session with the computer system overview and architecture. So first, we will identify the computer. So if we will say about the computer, so computer is an electronic data processing machine which accept data from the outside world. It means computer is getting the input. So that is first part of computer look like. Here there is an example of simple addition 33 plus 89. So whenever we want to perform this type of simple addition from the computer, so by performing the addition, we have to input the two values, like we will enter 33 and we will enter 89. Then and then we will able to make the addition. So first we have to enter the values. That thing is known as a input. So first part of computer is a input. If we will look about the next lines, so it will calculate computes on basic set of instruction. That means after inserting two values, there is need to give a command to computer what we want to perform, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. This thing is known as an instruction command. Whenever we will enter the two values, so computer is not able to think like user want to perform addition or subtraction. So at that time user have to give the inputs instructions also. So this thing is known as an instruction, and according to the user's instructions or according to the set of instructions and programs, computer will make a process. So that is the second part of computer. Then after third thing, it will supply and store in memory. This thing is known as a storage. Look like suppose you are using any mobile phone or your any laptop or tablets, so you are storing various types of data inside the computer. Look like your programs, your ebooks, your video lectures, your presentation slides, some type of movies, songs, etc. So computer is also providing a storage facility. Then after last line, and give desired result to the user in form of output. Computer is producing desired result in terms of output. It means whenever we want to perform addition of 33 and 89, so we require the answer 122. Suppose computer is answering 121 or 123, so it is not a desired result. We require the accuracy. So that's why we are making various types of programs and set of instructions to maintain the accuracy and for the desired result. So computer is producing desired result to the user in form of output. So by writing this para, we can define the computer. So there is no need to remind entire para. You have to remind just four things: input, process, storage, and output. By combining these four things, you can make a simple definition of computer, what computer is. Get it? Hope you are understanding the meaning of computer. Let go some deep inside the computer. So if we will go to the computer, so mostly computer is used for the two main purpose. First thing, that is computing, and second one is communication. So in terms of computing, In earlier era, computer was generally used as a computing only. But right now, in 21st century, many times I can say that most of the times computer is used for the communication purpose also. Because if you will think about the today's situation, so whenever you are attending the video conference meeting, or you are attending the video lecture series, video sessions online, live video session lectures, or you can attend the live webinar, you can attend the live http. So these are the examples of communications. You can make a video call to someone by using your computer. Get it? So these are the use of communication. So mostly voice and data are used into the communication. Whenever you are calling to someone, you are listening to someone, you are attending a meeting. So you are speaking or you are listening to your friends or your colleagues. So at that time you are using a voice. Same thing, to do this thing perfectly, you have to require a specific internet speed, and some of the data you are going to share, like you can share the files, you can download the files. So you require both this thing, voice and data. And right now in today's 21st century, after availability of telecommunications, voice and data is easily available for the communication. Second part, that is computing. It is a common part, we all know very well about the process and storage. So whenever we are making any type of program, we are writing algorithms, set of instructions. According to these programs and instructions, computer is performing the task. So this thing is known as a process. And another, that is a storage. Whenever after completing our program, we are going to store our program into the secondary memory. So this thing is known as a storage purpose. Next, in terms of computer, mainly there is a two part, computer organization and computer architecture. In some of the universities, there is a separate subject like computer organization, and another subject is computer architecture. In some of the universities are running a common subject like computer organization and architecture. So here I want to differentiate both the things, what is organization and what is architecture. So mostly uh, designers are working towards the architecture. It means it is a designing part of computer. And another one, that is organization. So how computers will work, that is entire organization body. So programmers are working on computer organization, like programmers are making a softwares, website, some set of instructions, programs. So this thing is known as a organization body. And architecture is look like how there is internal structure of computer, how all devices are connected with each other, like memories, CPUs, input output devices, buses. So that is a part of designing a computer. So designing part is mostly a hardware part, and organization part is a software side. Now if we will look about the applications of computer, so one is a controlling mechanism and another one is a data processing. So mostly in terms of controlling mechanism, electrical engineers or electronics and communication, EC engineers are working. In terms of data processing, mostly it is a work of computer science department. It means software engineers are working on this thing. It means like in terms of controlling mechanism, I will give an example of IC. So this type of chips, how to make the proper arrangement of internal body structure. It means hardware purpose. So it is a part of EC side. And same thing in terms of data processing. Suppose I have given one example of simple addition. So how to perform this addition? So to performing this addition, there is need to write some line of code. So it is a software part. Get it? So this thing is all about basic what is computer, and little bit lightly introduction of computer, Hope you are able to understand what is computer. Now, still if you have any question in your mind regarding to the what is computer, so you can write your question into the comment box. I will try my best to answer the question. I think also you are thinking about the background image. So there is one famous school. Uh, so if you are able to identify, also identify which school is this. You have already seen one famous movie on this school. It is available in India. Next, our topic is that is computer architecture. So if we will discuss about the computer architecture, so it is an entire hardware part. Here you will look the central processing unit. Another thing, there is a main memory. Another part that is input output module. Same thing. It can be secondary memory also. Get it? So now if we will identify all of the parts, so here that is a program counter and instruction register. So these two things are keeping a record of address of the instructions, like from where we are fetching the instructions, and what is the actual address of that instructions. Look, like suppose here you are looking memory address register and memory buffer register. So it means these registers are keeping a record of memory address. Same thing, program counter and instruction registers are keeping a record of address. It means which instruction is in execution. So whatever instruction is going to be executed by the CPU, so that record of that instruction and address of that instructions are uh, uh, available into the program counter and instruction register. Same thing in terms of memory address and memory buffer registers. It will keep the records from which place of memory CPU is fetching the instructions, and again in which place CPU is providing the output. So that is the record maintained by the memory address register and memory buffer register. Here there is a little bit doubt to some students, like difference between MAR and MBR. So memory buffer register is a temporary register. It is a temporary storage. So after completion, like after whenever CPU is fetching the data, and again after processing the data, CPU is writing the data. So then after record should be deleted from the memory buffer register. Same thing, it is available into IOAR and IOBR. It means again it is address register and buffer register. So it will keep the record of input output devices, like in suppose one process is in execution, and during this execution process required to print the data. So at that time processor require the output devices, that is printer. So this type of record is maintained into the address register and buffer register. Get it? And after completion of work, temporary data is going to be deleted from the buffer register. Same thing during the execution of any process, like user require the scan any type of data, so it will require a scanner. So otherwise look like user require any type of runtime input from the keyboard. So at the time input devices is required. So these registers are maintaining the records of input and output devices. Here you are looking black lines. So these are the system bus. So we can say that into the simple words, these are the pipelines inside the computer. Suppose CPU is fetching the data from the memory. So data is traveled through the system bus. So it is a one type of carrier or pipeline in which data is traveling from one place to another place. That is a simple explanation of system bus. Here you are able to see the main memory. So it is a small size of memory. Most of the data is actually stored inside the secondary memory. Look like hard disk. In currently 21st century, you are using the 1 TB hard disk or 500 GB hard disk, and memory, main memory approximately 8 GB RAM or 12 GB RAM. That is enough. So it is a little very much smaller as compared to secondary memory. So whenever CPU require the data for the execution, so operating system will keep the data from secondary memory and bring those data into the main memory during the execution. After completion of execution, again operating system will place those entire data into the secondary memory, because main memory is very much smaller, so we cannot store more number of data inside the main memory. So there is a storing purpose, it is a backside, that is secondary memory, and during the execution computer system will use the main memory. So hope you are understanding about the computer architecture. In our next session, we will discuss the abstract view of operating system as well as goals of operating system. So stay connected for the lecture number